China and Taiwan markets are your favourites. Why?
Well, these two markets, I think, are exposed mostly to the volatilities of global trade and economic activity, which we see ticking higher over the course of the next 12 months. This is as much a function of economic normalization as it is the expectation of herd immunity brought about by a successful vaccine. There's also exposure, obviously, to the growth sector in general, tech stocks in particular. And whilst I do anticipate value outperforming perhaps in the first and second quarter of next year, nevertheless, we still feel pretty positive on the structural story for technology in China and Taiwan. And for that reason, we're overweight.
All right, a strong month for equities in November. Are you taking profits, or can this continue, do you think, into December?
Yes, I think it can continue. We remain overweight. We're positive equities. Actually, more broadly, Credit Suisse house view is risk-seeking. Again, we're seeing earnings revisions being revised higher. Particularly in Asian markets, we're seeing valuations at reasonably competitive levels versus, for example, counterparts in the United States and in Europe. So for all these reasons, we think these institutions in developed markets that are perhaps underweight Asian exposure, in particular China risk, will start to become more invested. Capital inflows, we feel, will accelerate, and for that reason, we feel further price appreciation is likely. So, Matthew, we remain positive Asian risk, China in particular, and for that reason, overweight.
How much upside then in 2021 do you think?
Well, again, I think this is largely a function of capital inflows and, if you will, multiples expansion. If you were to look at China's current valuations or its historical current valuations, we've only seen them higher. Actually, in 2015 and in 2001 and 2007. This is when trailing PEs got to around the mid-30s. They're around 20 now. So I do feel there's further upside, as I mentioned, in the form of multiple expansion. But it's something that we're looking at closely. And for as long as China, I think, trades cheap to its developed market counterparts, there will be further upside. But at the point we see these valuations normalizing, equalizing, if you will, I'd start to become a bit more concerned and cautious.